hello there, my little yarn goblins and fiber trolls. Welcome back to another episode of Flannel Pod. If this is your first time here, first and foremost, I want to say thank you. As my friend Tazhi over at Stitches and Starlight says, there are a million voices clamoring for your attention on the internet, and of all people you decided to click on and spend time with, I'm glad that you're here. My name is Christopher. I am FlannelandPurls, your local neighborhood knitting friend, and you just happen to have stumbled into my little yarny corner of the internet. This is where we talk about all things fibercraft. So if you knit or crochet, perhaps you spin wool or maybe even weave, perhaps it's a little bit of embroidery, maybe some cross-stitching, maybe some sewing, or maybe you stretch even further outside of the fiber arts than that, and what you do is maybe woodworking, metalworking. Ooh, that would be fun. Maybe a little bit of watercolor. All that matters is that if you're a crafter, you have a place here at this table. So feel free to pull up a chair, have a seat, spend as much time as you'd like, because it's Christmas.
Where are my background singers? Woo!
Listen, I love Christmas. I love Christmas so much, and I feel like we've reached a point. I feel like we've kind of reached a pinnacle as a society, and I'm gonna blame Hallmark for this, truthfully. I think that it's their fault, but I feel like we've reached a point where it's almost a cliche to be super excited about the holidays. I do. I feel like it's almost become this sort of like shorthand joke on the internet to be like,
I love Christmas so much. I'm very excited that it's the holidays. I just feel really sad when it's not Christmas anymore.
I make fun of those people as much as anybody else does. And I think that it's sort of like, it's a two-prong approach. Like half of it is, yes, this very Hallmark, we're gonna release 18 new Christmas movies this year.
A homecoming to remember.
And also, I think that people just get oversaturated with it because it starts somewhere, the Christmas season now starts somewhere around like August 22nd. It's like, right, but we get July 4th, we get Independence Day here in the States, we get Independence Day, and then Christmas starts. And then it's Labor Day, and then we get a little bit of a break for Halloween, and then it's just hard Christmas all the way through December 25th. And then oddly enough, December 25th, stop, Valentine's Day. Hard line on December 25th. Christmas is over.
You ruined my Christmas!
It's over. Everything's pink and red now. So I get it. I understand how people get hyper saturated with it. I fully understand. I myself, I feel really bad for Halloween. I had so many decorations up in this room, but the truth of the matter is, while I have a good number of Christmas decorations, I moved from a one-bedroom apartment into a much larger house here in the suburbs, and every single Christmas decoration I have now just fits in my living room. That's it. And I put everything up and it just suddenly felt bad to take it down, bring it up here, put it up, take it back down again, and then try to make it look exactly the same as it did downstairs. That just seemed like a lot of work. So, I apologize. I had this fantasy in my head that I was going to turn this whole room into like a winter wonderland. It didn't happen, and it's not going to. But I do have on my little Christmas flannel. This is one of my favorite shirts. This is I refer to this as young Saint Nick as a lumberjack. That's what this look is. That's what I'm serving. So I've got this on. At least I have that. And the last month, we've got the tree up. We thought about putting lights outside. We thought about it. But the fact of the matter is that the outside of the house, there's really only the gutter around the second story. That's pretty much it. And I'm terrified of heights. I don't even own a ladder tall enough to put me up there. And if I did, how was I going to attach them? Now suddenly I also have to get like the little clips. I'm not putting staples in the gutters, so that's not gonna happen. But I have to get the clips. I have to be up there cold, scared, mounting these lights that then I have to go back up and remove in a month. It's too much. I was not going to have my Clark W. Griswold moment of flying off of the roof of my house. Wasn't gonna happen. So we've got the tree up, we've got some lights around the windows downstairs, this is the first year we've ever had a mantle, an actual fireplace. Like I never had my partner, he had a fireplace growing up, but I sure did not. And so this is the first time I've ever had a mantle. A couple of years ago, I made a stocking for him and myself. So of course, Howell has one as well. All three are hanging there on the mantle. And Howell has taken Hal has taken to sleeping under the tree. She's sleeping inside. She doesn't spend the night still. She won't. She refuses to stay the night in the house, but she will come inside and hang out under the tree. And it is just, I got a little bit of footage of it, and I'm going to show that to you here. And it's just, she's so touchy still, and so if I try to get anywhere near the tree while she's sleeping under there, she runs back into the sunroom. And so I was literally like down on the floor with the camera zoomed all the way in as far as it possibly could go just to get this footage. But she's so adorable. I love it. I love it so much. It just, having that little black cat sleeping under the tree really does make it feel like the holidays. And so we are getting into full swing. Like, I've been opening Advents. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but if you do, you know that I've been opening these Advents like crazy. I've got 3 of them. I have the Punk Rock Unicorn, which is a really, really cool one. They're a company that's based out of Germany. They were kind enough to send me one of their Advents, and it is bananas. It's so vivid. It's so technicolor. It's bright. It's fun. It's playful. It's so... Not only is it outside of what I would consider my normal color palette, but it's also just outside of the normal color palette for the holidays, which to me is really nice. It's kind of like a break from the standard sort of like greens and reds and browns and everything that I'm currently wearing. But it's nice. It's really great to have those bright pinks and teals and turquoises. It's a lot of fun. I've got that. I've got a beautiful one from Yarn Ink, which at the time that this is going to be published, I'm just about done with it. And so you'll see that it bleeds from a pink into a purple into these dark, rich blues. And then I think that it's going to start edging back up into a light blue. I think it's going to go light, dark, light. That's my guess is how this is going. But really, again, a fun, non-traditional Christmas palette. Pinks and purples and blues. Very wintry, but not so much Christmassy, which I love. Because then on the other side of that, I have not necessarily my favorite, but certainly the one that follows my particular color palette, which is Knotty Pine. I bought Knotty Pine's Advent literally the day that it came out. When I tell you that it was released at 7 a.m. on April 1st, I was on the website at 7 a.m. on April 1st. And it does not disappoint. It is so beautiful in terms of just these dark, heavy, deep, saturated greens, tans, browns, very earthy, very natural. It's exactly what I expected from Knotty Pine, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have all of these. It's fitting into, I feel like, a new tradition for me, which I love Christmas traditions. I don't know about y'all. I don't know if you are big Christmas tradition people, but for me, I have just sort of this like set run of things that I like to do. I like to make the same cookies. I like to make the same dishes. I like to watch the same movies, play the same vinyl. It's the one time of year that I allow all of these things to happen. And so I want to make sure that I do it. First up to bat when it comes to traditional stuff for us is Christmas cookies. I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I am the cookie monster. Cookies! I may not be blue, though I am fuzzy, but I'm not blue, but me do want cookie. Last year, I think that I made something like 140 Christmas cookies, and it's literally just my partner and I in the house. I don't know what I thought we were going to do with 140 cookies. We ended up giving like almost all of them away, but there's so many different types that I want to make. We've got like biscochitos, ginger snaps, scotcheroos. If you're in the Midwest, you know what a scotcheroo is. If you don't, I am including a link below to a recipe. It's basically a peanut butter Rice Krispie treat with chocolate ganache on top. You got your jam thumbprints, peanut butter blossoms, we got bourbon balls. Like, there's just so many different types of Christmas cookies to make, and I want to make them all. I just want to make them all. And so I end up with far too many. I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know. And after cookies, the other tradition that I follow very heavily is Christmas movies, which, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am on a mission.
You're gonna make it, soldier.
Our hoose is merry.
Santa has left the building.
you know that I am on a mission to watch as many Christmas movies, TV shows, cartoons, specials as I physically can, which last year I watched 52. I got 52 under my belt last year. I'm trying to beat that this year. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really don't. I would love to say that it will, but at the time of filming this, I'm at 25. Another 25 feels like a big ask. That feels huge. I'm not sure that it's gonna happen. I just don't know if I've got the time.
I'm gonna make it.
And every year, every single year without fail, I get into a million discussions with people about what constitutes as a Christmas movie. Like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Nightmare Before Christmas? Gremlins? Do these qualify as Christmas movies? And I myself, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to be the one to say yes or no. I'm not even entirely certain what types of certifications and classes I need to take in order to get that qualification. But what I am is a heavy, consummate consumer of Christmas media. And because of that, I have broken it down into what I believe is I think that it's an easily explainable diagram of what does and does not qualify for a Christmas movie. And I call this my graduated holiday content Tannenbaum, because if I'm gonna be putting things on a graph, it's gonna look like a Christmas tree. All right, my friends, so this is our graduated holiday content Tannenbaum. You'll notice that it is broken down into 4 sections, starting at the top with the star, tip of the tree, middle of the tree, bottom of the tree, okay? So these are our 4 categories. This is where our movies fall. Down here at the bottom, this is gonna be the bulk sum of your Christmas movies. There's a reason that it's at the bottom of the tree. This is the foundation of our content. This is where the bulk sum of everything sits. It's where the branches are the fullest. And here, we're gonna find movies that are at Christmas and about Christmas. Okay, so these are films. This is the bulk majority of Christmas media that happens. This is going to be your Christmas Story. It's going to be Christmas Vacation, Jingle All the Way, Miracle on 34th Street, The Nutcracker, The Grinch. All that stuff is going to fit right down here. It is the largest and probably the strongest section of the Tannenbaum. If you could think of a Christmas movie, it's probably there. But as we move up the tree, we get into this middle section. The branches start thinning out a little bit. We get into that snatched waist. This is going to be movies that are at Christmas, but not necessarily about Christmas. This is where we start getting into the sort of like contentious Christmas films. These are the ones that people like to argue about. This is where you're going to find your Die Hards, your Gremlins, Prometheus, surprise, surprise, Showgirls falls into that category. You can be reminded of this scene right here where she is walking in to get her contract and the woman in the background is decorating a Christmas tree. That is probably my favorite surprise Christmas movie to drop on people. Do not at me about it. However, this is the biggest one that I am going to give you for this section. Takes place at Christmas, is not about Christmas. This absolutely gags everyone when I bring it up. White Christmas.
What number?
Yes, I know, but please follow me here. Think about the plot of White Christmas. Christmas is really just a window dressing for that film, isn't it? Like, it takes place at Christmas, but it's only ever mentioned a few times. And realistically, most of the plot of the movie is about being a touring musical comedy act. That's really what it's about. It's about saving a ski lodge, and saving a ski lodge could happen at any time of year. Any time of winter, rather. For me, I'm just saying that movie has very little to do with Christmas. It is a Christmas classic. I am not going to debate that. However, it belongs here in the middle of the tree. At Christmas, not about Christmas. And then we get up here to the tippity tip of the Christmas tree. It's where the branches are the thinnest. They are also the least structurally sound. These are the movies that are the most confusing to people. These are the ones that people wonder, why on earth is this something that is shown at Christmas time? What does this have to do with the holiday season? These are going to be movies like Snow White. They're going to be The Wizard of Oz, Pinocchio, The Sound of Music. One that I'm going to say falls somewhere between the two layers, somewhere between the top and the middle, is Meet Me in St. Louis. Reason being, the third act of the film does feature one of the most famous Christmas songs of all time. It does take place at Christmas, sort of. A portion of the film takes place at Christmas, so it sort of falls somewhere between the two. The reason that when you turn on the Christmas channel on the radio, you might hear my favorite things, the reason for this is because of capitalism. Way back in the day, when people didn't have VHSs and they didn't have the ability to just watch whatever it is that they wanted to, these distributors would oftentimes push movies back into movie theaters for limited runs during the holidays that people could take their families to go and watch. And they were very popular films, ones that were incredibly successful with family audiences, and those were movies like Snow White, like The Wizard of Oz. That's why The Wizard of Oz shows up in films like A Christmas Story. A lot of times we think that The Wizard of Oz came out at Christmas, and that's why it shows up in A Christmas Story, but no, that is not the case. It's just, it was redistributed during the holiday seasons so that families would have something to go see with their kids. I love this section of the tree. It has to do with history, it has to do with business, it has to do with tradition in ways that just don't make sense. Why are we hearing my favorite things on the radio every Christmas? Why are we doing this? And the answer is because we always have.
And we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny.
And then we get all the way up to the tippity top of the tree. And this is a very special place to be. I save the star for movies that I believe, I have no proof, but I believe are movies that were originally written not as Christmas movies, and due to studio intervention became holiday films. Because some dude in a suit was like, hey, listen, we need a Christmas movie this year. We gotta release one. Is there a way that we can make this a Christmas movie? And there are always telltale signs, okay? There are always telltale signs that this is not originally supposed to be a Christmas movie and then became one. Generally, it is a movie for which Christmas has no plot device. There's no real motivation for it to be about the holidays. It's just sort of shoehorned in. Or furthermore, all of the Christmas stuff, all of the holiday things, they're all just set decoration. It's all just window decoration to the movie itself. And I have 3 great examples of this. One of them modern, 2 of them classic. And I think once I explain this, it's gonna make complete sense to you and you're gonna be on my side. I think I'm gonna win you over to the star, and I think that it's gonna make sense, okay? First one, Jingle Jangle. This was released a few years ago on Netflix. It's an okay movie. It's not one of my favorites. I love a musical. I think the music is fun. I think there are some absolute dynamite standout performances. However, what bothers me about it is a star film. I don't believe that this was a movie that was originally written as a Christmas musical. The reason being that all of the Christmas elements are literally just set decoration, costuming, and that's about it. We got like a few mentions of Christmas here and there, but they're so non-plot motivated. They're just kind of like sprinkled in to remind people, oh yes, this is supposed to be a holiday film. That's my belief. Also, the film completely misuses Anika Noni Rose, and to me, that is sacrilege. She is a Tony winner. Use her correctly. The next movie that falls up here is going to be Love Actually. Love Actually has nothing to do with Christmas. Not a single one of those plots relies on Christmas. There are really only 2 moments that rely on Christmas to make it work. The first one being what is his name? What is his name? Walking Dead. Walking Dead comes up, Keira Knightley, weird moment, very disturbing, not gonna get into it. But in order to, I guess, sort of schmooze his best friend's new wife, he uses caroling as a mask. Okay, so there's that. That's sort of like Christmas reliant, I'll give it that. Second one being a Christmas pageant. It could have been a pageant any other time of year. It could have been a school play at any time of year, but I'll let it go. I'll let it slide. The third one being the Christmas present, of course. Everybody's heartbreak in that movie. However, I would argue it doesn't have to be a Christmas present. You can buy a present for someone anytime. It doesn't have to be a holiday. So, Love Actually, that belongs up there. The final movie up there, and this is the one that probably bothers people the most, it always upsets people when I bring it up, is The Holiday. Now I know what you're thinking, this is a Christmas classic, and I agree. I love this movie. However, if we really look at it, is Christmas necessary for this film to happen? Does the plot really rely on Christmas? I would say no. Even the title itself, The Holiday, just means vacation. Cameron Diaz is going on vacation. Kate Winslet is going on vacation. It's about these two women trading lives ostensibly for a little while and getting a break from the ones that they're leading. They're learning about themselves. They're growing. They're changing. And of all of the films, it is the biggest perpetrator of Christmas as window decoration. I love this movie, but every single year I'm like, Miss Nora Roberts, did you originally write this movie as a Christmas movie? Because I don't think you did. I don't think that she did. I really don't. This could be a video all in and of itself. I could talk about this for an hour. I love Christmas media so much. I could talk about this for so long. I have no idea how much of this I'm going to edit out to save you from my rambling. But what I could say is these are the 4 categories that I have broken them down into. This is what I use to categorize Christmas movies. I hope that it helps you. The shorthand that I can give you, and I was told this many years ago, and I'm now going to share it with you. What makes a Christmas movie? A Christmas movie is a film where Christmas is necessary. If the plot relies on Christmas, if Christmas is an instigator, it's a Christmas movie. That's it. Those are your qualifiers. That's what I was told. That's how I qualify Christmas movies, and then I break them down into these 4 sections. But tell me what you watch, because I love finding out about these things, particularly if it's in section 3 up here at the top of the tree, because those are the random ones. Those are the ones that just tickle and delight me. Those are the ones that people have created over years of tradition with their family. And I love finding out about those. So please tell me those. Okay, so let's see here. We have talked about Christmas cookies. We've talked about Christmas movies.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I'm sure that a lot of podcasters right now are doing a bit of an end-of-year recap. They're doing a roundup of all of the projects that they finished this year, and they're showing off all of their beautiful finished objects. But I have to level with you. This was not my year for knitting. No. I think I lived on Frog Island. Almost every single project that I had to be ripped back at least once, sometimes multiple times, and I don't think that I finished but like a handful of things, which really kind of breaks my heart. Compared to last year I finished 23 projects. 23. This year, I have no idea. I've not even counted. Not that it matters, not that it's a quality over quantity. And the fact of the matter is that with house hunting and moving and renovating when we got here and just so many life events that got in the way, that's what happens sometimes. And I think that that's all right. I think it's okay to just say this wasn't my year for getting things done when it came to my crafting. I think that's all right. So instead of going through the stuff that I did do this year, I'd rather do something that's going to bring me joy and something that excites me and makes me happy. And I'm going to bring you the 12 yarns of Christmas. But before I do that, I need a costume change because I want to get into the season. I want to get into the joy of it. So, Santa. Okay, there we go. This is my Christmas sweater. I think you can probably tell why this is one of my favorite sweaters that I own. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that. Okay, so the 12 yarns of Christmas. These are 12 yarns that I have collected throughout the year. They've either been gifted to me by dyers or by yarn shops, or the ones that I have acquired myself and put into my stash, but they are some of my favorites that I have received this year. And I want to share them with you because I think they're really special. Some of these are going to be brands that you are familiar with. Some of them may not be. I have no idea. Many of them I did not know about at the beginning of this year, and I have developed actual relationships with the shops and the dyers. And they're all just such wonderful people. This is my way of just saying thank you for being a part of this community and providing us wonderful material so that we can express ourselves through our craft. So let me grab my basket. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right. When I first set this up, I thought, oh, this is not going to be that bad. 12 yarns is not that much. And then it filled up this entire basket. What was I thinking? I don't know, but I'm very excited about this. Okay, so number 1. And I need to say, these are not in any particular order. This is just how they came out of the stash. I am not ranking them. This is not a best to worst. It's just these are 12 yarns I want to share. So the first one that I've got here is Arcane Fiberworks, run by Tyler Burgess out of Alberta, Canada. They make some beautiful colorways, mostly variegated, some speckled, a small number of tonals. Most of them, I believe all of them actually, on superwash merino, although some of them are a blend of merino and nylon for the the sake of sock making. They make 4 different bases. They've got a fingering, a DK, a worsted, and a bulky. I actually have all 4 of them, and I've got examples here to show you. The first one here is a fingering weight. This colorway is For All the Trees. I really liked this one, the nice cool blues mixed with grays. It's really nice. Sometimes their mixes or their blends rather, do come with a bit of nylon in them. This is an example. Both of the DKs have some nylon in them as well, which is great if you want to make socks, which I love to make socks. So that is the fingering weight. I have 2 DKs. The first one is Mahogany Dreams. They have a ton of autumnal colorways. So if you love autumn colorways, they are your people, let me just say. And then because I love tonals, I've got 2 here. I've got one that is their undyed. It's just an ecru. I'm looking forward to doing some of my own dyeing with this one. And the next one is on their worsted base, which is Creamy Coffee. And I have a whole bunch of this. I'm going to make a cardigan out of it. But I have to say, I think my favorite base of theirs is actually their bulky, which is really fun, and the texture of it is super rich. And this one is Blazing Birch. It is so vibrant, so bright. I'm not even entirely certain that the camera can pick up all of the colors on it because it is so warm, and the color spectrum is really wide. It goes from very bright to really dark. But this one, you know I love this one. This one is Autumn Drive. And I just love it. I have no idea what I'm going to use that one for yet, but I just love this company. Tyler is such a sweetheart. He's a really nice guy. He's been incredibly kind to me and really supportive. So I wanted to make sure that I showed off the beautiful work that he has produced for me this year. Okay, so next up, we are staying in Alberta, Canada. I told you we've got a lot of Canada to get through, and this time we are with the Yak Yarnery, run by Aaron Cooper, who just Aaron, if you're watching, what a sweetheart. I have absolutely loved getting to know this person over the last several months, and her shop is just gorgeous. It's filled with a blend of both hand-dyed as well as manufactured retailed yarn, and I love it. You can get everything here in the United States as well as in Canada, and I've got 2 colorways here that she sent me that I want to share with you. The first one is the Canadian A, which just, I don't know, makes me laugh. It's funny. But the Canadian A is this gorgeous garnet color, which I'm hoping will get picked up on the camera. I hope it doesn't turn out too orange. It's this wonderful, rich, the only word that I can really use for it. It's not quite red. It's not quite brown. It's not a rust. It is a garnet. It's a true jewel tone. She sent me 3 hanks of this. And what's wonderful about this is that it is a blend of not just merino, but yak silk, which I have never, I don't know if I've ever even touched yak silk before, but what's fascinating about her blend, what's really interesting about the yarn is that maybe it's because of the silk, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this stuff, I'm just an enthusiast, but what's really fascinating is it has a coolness to it. Like when I pick this up compared to the other, if I pick up the 100% merino from Arcane, when I hold this, it has a warmth to it. Like it feels warm to the touch. It feels like wool is what it feels like. Whereas this has a chilliness to it. And I don't know how else to describe it. It has a coolness to its touch that I find so tactily fascinating. And not only is it just silken and soft, it's lovely. I'm very excited. She sent me 3 hanks of the Canadian A, and I know precisely what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make a second version of the Cameo Shawl, which is by Melanie Rice. This is what it looks like. I absolutely love this pattern. I made it for a friend of mine in a really interesting variegated, and now I want to do it in a tonal for myself. And I think that pattern with this colorway is going to be like the perfect little accent layering item for next fall. The other colorway that I've got here is called Barnyard Brawl. And I love this one. I think it's going to make a beautiful sock is what I'm going to do with that. I think that the colorways are just so fun. They're so rustic and just playful. I'm really looking forward to that. So please, if you've never checked out Yak Yarnery, please do so. Link to their Instagram is below. Okay, so I know that I said we've got a lot of Canada to get through, but we're going to leave the North American continent for just a moment. We're going to hop on over to Europe, and we're going to go to Finland, because we're going to talk about Lankava, which, if you are a follower of Flannel and Pod, you've probably heard me talk about this yarn house before. There's only one retailer in the United States at the moment, and that is Finished Knits. That's Finn, finished, like the country, Finished Knits. And this particular yarn was introduced to me by their owner, Nora, not Lankava, but Finished Knits. And I immediately fell in love with it. Even though it is a superwash wool and blended with a little bit of nylon, it still has a stickiness to it. Let me show you a little close up on this. Unlike a lot of superwashes that lose their just tiny little bit of halo, their texture, this doesn't. And it comes in, I think, 20 some odd colors, a few of them being variegated, but almost all of them being tonals. And the stickiness, the texture of them is perfect for doing colorwork socks. What's really amazing to me, why I love it so much, is that it comes in 3 weights: fingering, DK, and Aran weight, which the Aran weight is what really excites me, because it can be very difficult to find Aran weight sock wool that has a little bit of nylon in it, that isn't crazy expensive and isn't hand dyed. These skeins are like $8.99 each, which, to make a nice, big, fluffy pair of Aran weight socks, that's a deal. I'm going to be singing the praises of Lankava until the cows come home, so I had to include them in the 12 yarns. So thank you, Nora. This next dyer is very near and dear to my heart, and I am so unbelievably excited to be introducing some of you, not all of you, but some of you, introducing you to Lamb and Vine. I have gushed about them on my Instagram feed multiple times, and I'm gonna do it here again, because Molly Green, owner of Lamb and Vine, running out of Southern California, just makes some of the most beautiful, rich, gorgeous colors. It's a palette that I want to live my life in. And what I really love is that the blend of wool that she chooses to dye is so unique to me. Maybe not to you, but to me and my stash, it is unique. And I love that it's non-superwash. I'm on a bit of a tear right now to find what I consider to be the perfect blend of non-superwash to work with and wear. And Molly's right now is it's one of my favorite to touch. I've not had the opportunity to knit with it yet, but I just know that it's going to be gorgeous. I have 2 here to show you. The first one are the DK. The second 2 are the Surrey alpaca. And I just wanted to show off a few of the colors that they've got. The UNDK, which is what this one is, this particular one is Fox in the Woods. And this one, I don't know if the color is going to pick up on camera. It might just wash out. It is a very, very delicate peachy pink. This one is Beatrix. But what's amazing is that it is a blend of Rambouillet, Cormo, Merino, and Targhee. And I think a lot of people, when they think about non-superwash, they think about things that are scratchy and sticky and sort of like prickly. This is so buttery. It's so soft. I mean, yes, it's not superwash. Like if you picked it up, you're not going to confuse it for superwash, but that's always the case. That's never going to be the situation. It is a non-superwash, but it is so touchable, so soft. I love the way that it feels on my neck. I can't rub it on my cheek like a lot of people do because my beard makes everything Velcro and I'm not going to tear this up. But I love the way that it feels on my neck. I'm absolutely in love with this. I have 4 skeins of the Fox in the Woods. I've got 1 of the Beatrix. I have not decided what to do with it yet, but I'm thinking a sweater vest. That's what I think. That's sort of my idea right now. But what really excites me and what I'm very pumped to figure out, how does this feel, how is it different from mohair, is the alpaca, which this is the only alpaca that I have in my stash. These are the only 2. And I have here, this is the Fox in the Woods as well. So it goes with the DK. Absolutely beautiful. It's a blend of alpaca and silk. And this one is clove, which I don't know how the color is going to translate on film, but it's this incredible mauve jewel tone. Like if mauve was a jewel tone, that's what clove would be. Maybe I'm biased because I adore Molly, but I don't think that that's the case because there are a lot of dyers that I love as people and I don't feel as passionately about their fiber as I do about lamb and vine. I cannot wait to get this on my needles. It's been eating away at me. Unfortunately, obviously I'm going through the 12 yarns here. I have a lot of yarn that I want to get through, but this one's been really eating away at me and I cannot wait to cast on with it. So thank you very much, Molly, for sharing your talent with the world. This is really beautiful stuff. Next up, we are staying in the United States, but this time we are moving back here into the Midwest. We are in Michigan, and we're with Coyote Run Fiberworks. They are a brand new mill here in Michigan. They're run by Nicole and Andy Foster, and I feel very lucky that I actually have some of their yarn in my stash because not very many people do. I think that I number among like, I don't know, I'm not even gonna guess, but it's double digits. Like it's less than 100, I believe, at this point. They are just starting to push fiber out into the world for dyers to collect and buy, to work with. And I'm so absolutely, I got a collection of this is just a small portion of what I've got here. And I'm so excited. Nicole sent this to me as a gift to use with my walnut bath, which currently is sitting dormant. I have it in the freezer because I haven't had the time to actually do anything with it yet, but I'm very excited about it. But she sent this to me as sort of just like play around yarn of this undyed. This is all superwash. It's another really great example of a superwash that doesn't feel superwash. Like it doesn't have that sort of plasticky, slick feeling to it. But she sent me a few different options. This one is the Sport. I'm going to show it to you. These may all wash out. You may lose the texture because they're white, but this one is the Sport. Absolutely lovely. This one is a 3-ply, nice and strong. It is 100% superwash merino. All of it is American wool. It is raised here in the United States. It's processed and spun here in the United States. The next one that I've got is their 2-ply. This one is a fingering weight. This is their 2-ply. And what I love about this 2-ply is that it's really airy. It has a lot of air in it. It's got a lot of bounce to it. It feels very thick and very full. Even though it is fingering weight, even though it is superwash, it doesn't feel that way. It has a lot of just richness and texture to it, which I love. That's the type of stuff that I like in yarn. I like yarn to feel like yarn. Sue me. And the final one that I've got here is just a classic 3-ply sock. And this is the one that I was sent by Nicole to make socks out of because I said, you know that I can't resist making a good pair of socks. And so she sent me this to dye up and play around with. So if you are a dyer and you are looking for a new mill to work with, or if you happen to rate, my gosh, if I have anyone who raises sheep in my followers, and my subscribers, please say hello because I am absolutely fascinated by what you do. So, but if you raise sheep for wool and you'd like to meet with a new American mill, or if you're a dyer and you're looking for a new source, Coyote Run Fiberworks, you can find them on Instagram. I will be linking them below. Thanks, Nicole. Keeping in line with yarn companies that mean something to me, I want to talk about Always Be Kind yarn. And I think that this one is probably going to be a very difficult one for me to get through because of what they mean to me and to my community and what they represent. However, before I get into it, I need to put a little bit of a disclaimer and a bit of a trigger warning here at this portion, which probably sounds wild for a yarn review. However, we are going to be talking about queer struggles with mental health. We are going to be discussing suicide and the impact of it. So if this is not something that you are able to deal with at this moment, I completely understand. Please feel free to skip forward. If you are someone who is struggling with your mental health, I will have some resources down below in the caption for you as well. But with that said, what Laura Salisbury is doing with Always Be Kind yarn is something truly special and extraordinary to me because there are a lot of yarn dyers in the world. There's a ton of them, and that's a great thing. There's some extraordinary artists out there. But what is amazing to me about Always Be Kind is it is not just a yarn company. It's not just a dyer. It is someone who has a mission that is bigger than just producing yarn. And what they are doing is they are selling yarn in an attempt to assist with suicide prevention. Unfortunately, tragically, Laura lost her daughter Kayla to suicide after many years of struggling with her mental health. And in response to that, what Laura has done is build an entire company around producing beautiful, touching, self-striping yarn that are based on pride flags. I'm so sorry. That are based on pride flags. And I just love them. I really do. Laura was one of the sponsors of my Pride giveaway here back in June of this year. And in response to that, as a result, she also sent me several of her own, which these are the only self-striping yarns that I have in my stash. I want to use them because I really want to make socks out of them, but also they're just so special to me that I just want to leave them in my stash and I never want to touch them. I've got a few different colorways here to share with you. She was kind enough to send these to me. The first one I think is really fun. This one is the Fall Leaves Pride. Basically, it's, what if the pride flag was autumnal? And that's what this one is. And I think that this one's going to make a really fun sock. I'm really looking forward to that one. I've got that. I've got the classic Pride, which, my God, this is just, it's so bright. How could you look at that and be sad? How could you be bummed out? I know I said I didn't want to use them, but I think I have to for Pride next year. I really do. And then this one is the Bear Pride, which, Laura, was that a read?
Though I am fuzzy.
That's not a read. Look at me. But she sent me the Bear Pride one as well. So I've also got this one to make a nice pair of socks out of. And what's extraordinary about Always Be Kind Yarn, and why I said they are a business with a mission, is that a portion of the proceeds of every skein sold and the entirety of the proceeds from their Pride collection go to suicide prevention. And I don't have the words for what that means to me personally. And so I would love it if you supported this business, because it is an organization that is trying to do something more than just sell yarn. And they deserve our support for what they are doing for the queer community. So I just thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. I love this yarn and I'm so happy to bring it to the pod. Next up, we have Four Crows Fibers, which this is run by Melissa Brown out of Wisconsin here in the United States. And I met them at the Wisconsin Fiber Festival this year, and it was an absolute treasure. Melissa, if you're watching, hello. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for welcoming me into your booth. I had an absolutely fantastic time meeting you and the team. And I walked away with actually the only 2 yarns that I bought at that fiber festival. And I love these 2 so much. I don't have any plans for them yet. They're one of those wonderful fibers that's just sitting in my stash that I know is going to make something fantastic. I know that when I see the right pattern, it's going to be the thing, right? I'm going to see it, I'm going to know, and it's going to be the thing. But I love how these 2 work together. I'm going to show them to you both independent of one another and then together so that you can understand why I like them so much. But these 2 are actually the only 2 tweed fingering that I have. This is the Wee Donegal base that they have, which is a mix of obviously like the Donegal Neps as well as Merino. It is a 2-ply fingering. This first one is Smoke on the Water. Beautiful collection of steely grays. I really like this one. And this next one honestly should be very, very expected, I think, for me. I'm nothing if not consistent. And this one is Earth to Sky, which I'm not sure if the camera is collecting all of the colors, but it is this blend of blues and greens, rusts, oranges, and yellows. It's really lovely. It's absolutely beautiful with a bit, again, of that Donegal Nep in it. But these 2 together, that's what's special to me. That's what I like. I think that these 2 as a unit really work something special. I'm seeing maybe like perhaps a cowl that's striped or something like that. I think that would be really lovely. It seems a little bit light for a hat. I'm not sure, and I'm not entirely certain if I love the idea of a fingering weight mitten. I don't think that would do anything for me. I get cold so easily that I'm not sure what that would do. So I'm not certain about this. I don't want to make socks out of them because they don't have any nylon in them. And being 2-ply, I feel like they would just fall apart immediately. And that would break me. That would absolutely destroy me. So I haven't decided what to do with these yet. But these 2 are 2 skeins that when I look at them in my stash, they just bring me so much joy. I wanted to share them. Four Crows, absolutely fantastic. Check them out. I'll be linking them below. Okay, for watchers of Flannel and Pod, for watchers of At the Table, you're going to recognize the Eco Shetland worsted. Now, I absolutely had to bring this one out. I am currently using this to make my Awin sweater by Megan Babin out of Hudson and West. I love this yarn. I have talked about it multiple times. I enjoy it so much. It is another non-worsted, it's another non-superwash. This one is in the color Pine. I got this from the company Your Next Knit. Again, based out of Canada, this time out of Ontario. We are back in Canada. It is by Estelle Yarns, which is also an Ontario based. I have no idea. They're from Ontario, but it's also a Canadian company, Estelle Yarns. I absolutely love this. This is a 100% non-superwash Shetland, and it's just, what I love about it is that it does have a bit of stickiness to it. It is a little bit more in line with that sort of like Icelandic feel, sort of like a let lopey, but nowhere near as scratchy as that. It sits somewhere sort of like midline. Like if we've got like superwash merino all the way over here as like really super silken, like that really shiny stuff, and then all the way over here is, dare I say, let lopey. I don't want to call anybody out on in specific, but a very sticky, very prickly yarn. If that's all the way over here, it sits somewhere in sort of the middle, which is why I like it so much. I think that it would make absolutely breathtaking color work. I think that it would be a beautiful sort of a compromise for not going all the way Icelandic and not doing superwash, but something just sort of in between. I don't know how it wears yet. I could see this potentially being a bit of a pillar. Piller. I could see it pilling. I'm not entirely certain yet because I've not finished my Awin. However, this particular yarn, for its price, for its content, I just really love it. It comes in a bunch of different colors. Your Next Knit has also offered me a discount code, so you're welcome to use Chris15 for 15% off of your first order. I'm not going to get a kickback on that. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a gift from them to me to you. So feel free if you'd like to check them out. And if you'd like to check out the Eco Shetland worsted by Estelle, I highly suggest it. Oh, we are coming into the home stretch. We're in the home stretch, everybody. Do we need to take a stretch? Do we need to stretch a little bit? Do we need to do that? Actually, that was nice. I'm actually really glad I did that. I'm trying to be nicer to my body this next year. I don't do a lot of stretching. I do a lot of working out. I lift a lot of weights, but I don't do much stretching. I don't know. I don't know why. I just get to be sore all the time. But we are in the home stretch and we are moving on to another non-superwash that is extremely important to me that I am unbelievably excited to bring to you. This actually just this just arrived in the mail for me. I just got this, a nice package of this from Jill Zielinski at North Bay Fiber. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but please, I am begging you, if you do not know North Bay Fiber, go to their Instagram, go to their website. Both of them are linked below. Jill is not only an absolute sweetheart, but their breed-specific bases are unbelievably gorgeous. This is their most recent. This is Journey. This is a new base for them. This is an Aran weight, non-superwash 2-ply. It's semi-worsted spun, but it is 100% Romney. This particular colorway, this is Mallard, and this one is Copper Harbor. I have a couple of others that I wish I had brought in. I don't know why I didn't, but I have two others that as well, but they're all beautiful. The camera is not picking these up the way that it should because they are so rich. They are so vibrant, and it's another non-superwash, 100% American. It's grown in California. It's spun in Pennsylvania. It is then dyed and sold in Michigan. And I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless to how soft, plush, gentle to the touch. It it's so velvety. Like, I've never felt non-superwash like this before. It has, because it is a semi-worsted, it has air in it that gives it this soft, fluffy airiness to it. The colors are so consistent. There is not an absolute, just even fleck of differential in this tonal. You would swear that it was machine done. Like, it's gorgeous. This is a luxury yarn that I do genuinely believe is worth the expense. I know that probably sounds like something that maybe Jill doesn't want me to say that, and if you don't, I'm so sorry, but I have to be the one to say it, that no, it's not going to be the least expensive yarn that you're going to find on the market, but yes, it is gorgeous and it is worth the expense. Like this, I know exactly what I'm making out of this. I have 6 skeins of this one of this, 3 of another, and 1 of another. It's going to end up being a striped cardigan that I'm going to make out of this. And I cannot wait to get this on my needles. I will share more about that as the project unfolds. I'm still working it out in my head. It's kind of a design of my own making. I'm sort of cannibalizing one design and another design and sort of mashing them together. I'm Frankensteining. This is Frankenstein's cardigan. This is Frankenstein's cardigan. I love that. That's what this is. But Jill, you do beautiful work. I've gushed to you on Instagram more times than I can physically count, and I'm going to do it again here. They have multiple different bases. They have several different weights. If you are interested in breed-specific yarn that is non-superwash, please check out North Bay. Beautiful. I have nothing more to say. It's all gorgeous. Thank you, Jill. Y'all, we are leaving the United States again. We are leaving the North American continent. We are going back over to Europe, and this time we are going to Germany, where we're going to meet Anthy Yarns, which, if you do not know Anthy, I didn't know them until about like midway through this last year. I am obsessed with one particular, you know what, we're going to set this up. I'm not even going to pull it out yet. Here's the thing. I am obsessed with one particular colorway that they make, and it's run by, and please forgive me if I'm saying your last name wrong. I'm so sorry. I do not speak German. Her first name is Anthy. Last name, Dregis? 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 I'm not sure. Please forgive me. I was never great with languages, so forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. But she makes one particular colorway called Kaleidoscope, and she only updates it in worsted weight every now and then. It's like every few months, like once every like 6 months or so that she updates it. And every single time I miss it. Every single time it gets updated, I have missed the update. Well, I did not miss it this time. When I tell you that I am so excited about this yarn, when I tell you that I am thrilled to own 12 skeins of this, to have this in my stash, look at that. Look at how fun that is. That's confetti. That's funfetti. That is Pillsbury funfetti in yarn. It is a superwash merino. I know that I said that I'm on a tear with non-superwash. I know that I said that. This is a superwash, but here's what's fascinating about it. It is an extra soft luxury superwash merino. It is so supple. It is so silken and soft and squeezable. I can't get over it. Like I said, I've got 12 skeins of it, and sometimes I'm just standing there and just staring at my stash. I'm just, hi. I know that it's probably creeped out. It's like, oh my God, that guy in the mustache is back. But I can't. I know precisely what I'm going to do with this. The pattern has already been decided. I am going to make a classic waffle style Aran fisherman sweater out of this, which I just love the idea of a confetti yarn being used for a fisherman sweater. I just think I think it's so funny. I think that it's so delightful. It's such a twist on the classic sort of cream colored fisherman's sweater, like that just very classic look with the undyed. And that's basically what this is, with just little speckles, and there's purples and yellows and blues and oranges. It's the rainbow. It's just little speckles of rainbow inside it. When I got this and I opened it up, I just about fell out. I'm so delighted. This was many months in process. I had to work very hard to get this one because I kept missing the update. This one's going to be one to watch. So thank you, Anthy. All right, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around. We're down to the final 2. This is it. We've got 2 more, and this is the second. I don't know if you heard that or not. I live in an area with people who just like hot rod just down this street. It's a residential street. There's like a stop sign in like 3 blocks, and yet for some reason that does not stop them from driving. Like it's that racing scene in the ravine from Greece. I don't get it. Anyway, we're down to the final 2. So this is the last of the manufactured yarns that I've got. I've only got 3. I had Lankava, I had Estelle Yarns, and now I've got this one. And this is another one of the manufactured ones. This is from Plymouth Yarn Co., and that's not necessarily what makes it special. But the reason that I included this is because I picked this up from Fiddlesticks Knits. They're a queer-owned independent yarn store in Madison, Wisconsin. I picked that up from them when I happened to be there several months ago, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the color. I fell in love with the texture of it. You're not going to be able to probably tell how rich it is on camera because I can tell that the lights are making it way more luminous than it actually is. But it is this very heavy, extremely rich sapphire color. And I love that it's 100% wool except for the neps. You know, that's not. But I love tweeds. And I've now got an Aran weight tweed that I'm going to make into another cable knit sweater. I have this vision of having a tweed cable knit sweater, and the fact that it's sapphire, such a rich color. And it was great to pick up a sweater quantity from a queer independent yarn store in Madison. It was so many, check. It was just all of these things that I just had to do. So hello to Fiddlesticks. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic holiday season. And if anyone watching would like to put their money toward a queer-owned yarn store, independent, please feel free to do so. They will be linked below. Last, but certainly not least, is the Scottish Yarn Festival. My friend Ava sent these 2 over for me several months ago, and I have not had the opportunity to feature them on my Instagram feed yet, which has been breaking my heart. I've just been so unbelievably busy. It sort of feels like life has been running at about 90 miles an hour with the parking brake also on. I don't know. It's been driving me insane. And I wanted to get these on my needles. I wanted to get them into a project before I featured them. But the reality of the matter is that this is the perfect time to do it. It truly is a 12 yarns of Christmas moment. These yarns are very special, and there's a very particular story behind it. I encourage you to go to their website and read it. It will be linked below. But the yarn itself, the wool is grown in Scotland. It is then spun in Yorkshire. It is dyed specific to places that are around Scotland that the Scottish Yarn Festival has identified as important and significant. And so each of these is themed to that. There are 11 different tonals that you can choose from. They come in 2 different bases, DK and fingering. I've got the 4-ply here. This is the 4-ply fingering. So I've got those 2, and the 2 colors that I've got, this one is Dewar. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. I believe that it's Dewar, Dewar. And this one I actually had to look up how to pronounce. This stunning beauty is Cohoon. I just love it. I think these 2 together, oh goodness, I almost dropped them. These 2 together, absolutely breathtaking. Like they're so, what's really interesting? Where are they? It's almost like the desaturated version of North Bay. Check this out. I didn't even realize it until I was putting these together. Got Scottish yarn, and we got North Bay. Scottish yarn, North Bay. Hilarious. That was not intentional. Absolutely unintentional, but I love it. But this yarn, absolutely beautiful. It's, again, another non-superwash. I really love it. I cannot wait to get it on my needles. I have a color work plan in my head. I really want to make some mittens that are color work out of these. I think that it would be an absolutely beautiful autumn piece, wouldn't it? Like those 2 colors as an autumn mitten. I think that would be absolutely gorgeous. So I haven't had the opportunity to use it yet, but Ava, you and your team, you've done gorgeous work. And I know that you're extremely proud of this yarn. You should be. It's beautiful. The 9 other colors that you have produced are also breathtaking. They are starting to get US stockists. There are a few. I will list them below. There are not very many. I think that there's only 2 at this point. So if you're interested in collecting this, I will offer those 2 as an option, but you can also always just buy directly from their website. So those are the 12 yarns. Those are the 12 yarns of Christmas. That's it. We made it all the way through. Thank you so much for joining me on that. I thought that would be a really fun way of wrapping up the year because I don't have a whole lot of projects that have been finished. I don't have a run through to give you. So that's what I wanted to share with you because it brings me an extraordinary amount of joy. I have had an incredible, unbelievable year being a part of this international crafting community. It brings so much joy to my heart to be welcomed in, to just be wrapped up in this wonderful group of people all over the world who have welcomed me with open arms and hearts. At the top of this year, I didn't have a podcast. At the top of this year, almost none of you were following me. No one knew who I was on Instagram. And it's just been an unbelievable ride to be sitting here sharing these extraordinary yarns from these brilliant craftspeople all over the world. It is a privilege that I don't take lightly. And I sincerely mean that it is not something that I take lightly. And I want to thank each and every one of you for not only being a part of it, but for being a part of my crafting journey as well. And for letting me come into your home for a little bit. It's so, I don't know. That is the holiday gift that you've given me. So I want to thank you. Around this time of year, I know that everybody's being pulled in 1,000,001 directions, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, which if you don't, I just want to wish you a happy winter, period. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. If you're celebrating Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. If you're celebrating nothing, happy nothing. My gosh, that sounds amazing. I would love to do nothing. That sounds incredible. Can I do nothing for Christmas? That's what I would like to do. But I don't want to make this video overly long. I'm sure that it's probably long enough already, and for that reason, we're not going to do our little quiet crafting session here at the end of the video today. We are going to do an at the table. That's still going to happen. That'll be a separate video. But what I want to do instead is I want to release you back to your day. And what I'd love for you to remember is that no matter where you are, no matter what you're dealing with, there is always a place here at the table for you. Always. That's my gift to you. You are welcome here anytime you need somewhere to sit and relax and have a friend to work with. As always, my name is Christopher. I am FlannelandPurls, your local neighborhood knitting friend, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you would, please give this video a little like and hit the subscribe button on my channel. I know it seems silly, but it truly does help new creators like myself find and grow their audience. If you'd like to share your viewing experience on your own social media platforms, please tag me. I absolutely love seeing the stories of y'all watching and crafting along. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and Patreon at FlannelandPurls. A huge thanks to my Patreon subscribers this month. Your support really means the world to me. To watch ad-free versions of my videos, access behind-the-scenes footage, exclusive playlists, and more, check out the link for my Patreon in the caption below. As always, take care of yourself, my friends, and I'll see you next time.